in the proper way, right? In the proper place. But when sexual desires is satisfied between a husband and a wife in a proper time out of a mutual love and desire, this is actually a mitzvah. And a mitzvah is the fulfillment of God's law, right? It's a positive consequence. Sex is permissible only within the context of marriage. It is the divine will of God, I want to say. Sex is permissible between, anyone can consent who is an adult to have permissible sex. But divine will, kosher sex, is only between a husband, you hear that, and a wife. A husband and a wife who is man and woman, male and female. All right. In Judaism, sex is not merely a way of experiencing physical pleasure. It is an act immersed in significance, which requires commitment and responsibility. It is also a spiritual act that creates a spiritual, soulful connection. I want to add that there. Jewish law forbids sexual conduct short of intercourse outside of the context of marriage. So no petting and none of all that other stuff. Now, the evil ones say it's okay to do other stuff as long as there's no penetration. You're still technically a virgin. But spiritual speaking, when one engages in any sexual contact, they are not spiritually still innocent, and they have created a soul tie. Any extreme, this is the spiritual teaching part, any extreme, it's an extreme spiritual emotion. All right? Primary purpose of sex is to reinforce the loving mutual bond between a husband and a wife. The first and foremost purpose of marriage is companionship, a helpmate, and sexual relations play an important role. Procreation is also a reason for sex, but is not the only reason, and we can see that in the Torah, in the Tanakh. There were some couples who were not able to conceive, but they still were engaging in sexual relations. And then God would remember them and have mercy upon them and bring them in their more wisdom-filled years. In the Torah, the word used for sex between husband and wife, the root word is dalet, anyan, tov, meaning to know someone. If you know someone, you are familiar with them. This leads into familiar spirits, okay? I want to fast forward to this part. Sex should only be experienced during a time of joy. So evil ones will say have makeup sex. You're never supposed to have quote unquote makeup sex. Even sex. Evil ones will say, oh, you just broke up with someone. The only reason to, or only way to get over someone is to go have sex with multiple people. That isn't what Torah says, okay? Sex is supposed to be between a husband and a wife at a joyful time, all right? Sex is for selfish personal satisfaction without regard for a partner's pleasure is wrong and evil. Sex for bragging rights, sex for I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't think about it. You know how sometimes you're not in a oh, there we go. Thank you, merciful Hashem. Thank you, merciful Hashem. Sex for therapy by God, okay? A couple may not have sexual relations while drunk or quarreling. Sex may never be used as a weapon against a spouse. Like, if you're not going to do this, then I'm not having sex with you, which is what the evil ones teach. Or, because I bought you this, you need to give me the sex. that isn't what God says to do, okay? In fact, it is considered manipulation and abuse, and it is a punishable offense. And in biblical times, if a husband, his wife violated her in any of these sexual ways that are not permissible, force, quarreling, drunk sex, he could get caned. Y'all, those 40 lashes minus 1, she could go to the courts and say he is abusing me. And if they do the research, you know, the